Every 40 seconds, someone in America suffers a stroke, and 1 in 4 survivors will never walk the same way again. Are you sure you won't be the next? Or are you, without even realizing it, risking the rest of your life for a can of soda, a backyard barbecue, or a bag of chips? Let me tell you about 7 mistakes I've seen, 7 small habits that have quietly stolen the ability to walk, to speak, and even the joy of life from thousands of older patients. And more importantly, how you can avoid them, starting today. You know, summer always brings with it a sweet temptation. The sun's blazing, and your hand almost instinctively reaches for an ice-cold soda, a glass of sweet iced tea, or a bottled lemonade from the corner store. I get it, I really do. I had a patient, her name was Margaret, 62 years old. She told me, "Doctor, I'm not addicted to sugar. I just have 1 glass of sweet lemonade a day, maybe some iced tea in the afternoon to keep me awake." But here's the thing. Our bodies don't count the glasses. They only feel the impact, the sugar quietly damaging the delicate blood vessels that keep our hearts and brains alive. I want you to imagine this. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the blood flowing through your body right now, carrying oxygen and nutrients to every single cell. But then, every can of soda, every glass of sweet iced tea you drink, it's like spoonfuls of sugar being poured into that river. At first, the blood still flows, but over time, that excess sugar thickens the vessel walls, makes them stiff and narrow. Your blood starts to get sludgy, and your heart has to work harder and harder to push each drop through. And then one day, a blood clot forms, blocking that flow completely. We call that a stroke. Harvard studies have shown that drinking just 2 cans of soda a day can raise your stroke risk by 23%. And the scary part? Most of us don't even realize how much we're drinking. Margaret didn't either. She didn't realize. When I asked her, Margaret, if I handed you 12 teaspoons of sugar and told you to eat them all at once, would you do it? She laughed and said, "No way, doctor." But the truth is, that's exactly what she was doing every single day just through her drinks. I know, sugar feels comforting. It's like an old friend who's always there to cheer you up after a long, exhausting day. But sometimes, that friend is also a silent betrayer, quietly causing inconvenience that put all of these together, and every sip of that sugary drink becomes one step closer to an ICU room that none of us ever want to see. I'm not telling you to give up every joy in life. I'm simply inviting you to try a little reset. Remember, you don't have to do this perfectly. Just cutting your sugary drinks in half each day can already lower your stroke risk significantly. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, what are you feeding your heart every single day? Are you quietly inviting a stroke, or are you protecting your brain and your heart for the beautiful years still ahead? Margaret, after that conversation, decided to give it a try. She switched her soda for plain water for 30 days. A month later, she called me and said, "Doctor, I didn't think I could do it, but I feel so much lighter now, and my blood pressure has even gone down a little." You see, sometimes it's the smallest changes that save us. 1 glass of water today might be the very reason you get to hug your loved ones a little longer. So, what will you choose for your body today? And don't forget to hit subscribe for more life-changing health stories like this one. Have you ever noticed your body speaks to you in tiny whispers? Dry lips, a little headache, that strange fatigue? I once had a patient, George, 68 years old, who kept telling me, "I don't know why I keep feeling dizzy lately, and my heart races so often, doc. But I drink coffee all day so I can't be dehydrated, right?" But here's the thing, coffee, tea, even beer, they don't actually hydrate your body. In fact, they can make you lose even more water. And dehydration, this thing we so often dismiss, is one of the silent enemies that raises your stroke risk without warning. I want you to imagine this. Picture your blood vessels like a garden hose. When there's enough water, the flow is smooth, gentle, effortless. But when there isn't enough water, the flow slows down, thickens, and the pressure builds up. That's exactly what happens inside your body when you're dehydrated. Your blood gets thicker, your heart has to pump harder to push it through every corner of your body. And unfortunately, that strain increases the chance of forming a blood clot, a common trigger for a stroke. Did you know a study published in the Journal of Stroke found that people who were dehydrated when admitted for a stroke were 4 times more likely to suffer severe brain damage than those who were well hydrated? This isn't just a statistic, it's a wake-up call, especially in summers. When heat and outdoor activities make your body lose water even faster, the risk quietly climbs higher. When I asked George to start a simple habit, carry a 1-liter bottle of water and finish it before noon, the results were surprising. 2 weeks later, he came back and said, "Doctor, my heart doesn't race as much anymore. I feel more alert. I never thought plain water could make such a difference." I smiled at him and said, "George, sometimes our bodies don't need complicated solutions. They just need us to listen and give them the simplest things." I want to invite you to try something simple. Place a bottle of water somewhere you'll see it often, on your desk, next to the sofa, or in your car. Take small sips throughout the day. Don't wait until you feel thirsty, because by then, your body is already running on empty. If plain water feels too bland, add a few slices of lemon, cucumber, or some fresh mint leaves to make it more enjoyable. For women over 50, aim for about 1.8 t. 2 liters of water a day. For men, about 2 to 2.5 liters. Are you letting your body stay thirsty without even realizing it? When was the last time you had a proper glass of water? Or have you been relying on coffee, soda, or tea to get by? Pause for a moment. Pour yourself a glass of water right now, and remember, every sip you take today is a promise to your heart and brain. I'm going to take better care of you. You see, a simple act like staying hydrated can protect you from some of life's biggest health scares. Don't wait until your body cries out for help to start paying attention. Have you had enough water today? Subscribe to this channel so we can keep walking together on your journey to a healthier life after 50. You know, we live in a world where, with just a few taps on your phone, a steaming hot pizza or a greasy burger can be delivered straight to your door. I once had a patient, Linda, 57 years old, who shared with me, "Doctor, I just don't have time to cook. I live alone. I get home after a 10-hour workday. And fast food? It's convenient. I know it's not healthy, but what else can I do?" Linda isn't alone. So many of us choose convenience without realizing the true cost our bodies are quietly paying. Imagine this: your heart, a hard-working organ that never takes a break, now has to process a river of blood loaded with bad cholesterol, excessive sodium from fast food, and preservatives from packaged meals. Those blood vessels, once soft and flexible like a spring stream, gradually become stiff and narrow, like an old garden hose clogged with debris. And then, one tiny piece, a blood clot, can block it all in an instant. That's when you hear the emergency call: stroke. Number 10. Studies from the American Heart Association show. The scariest part? These effects creep in quietly, with no warning signs until it's too late. When Linda was admitted to the hospital after a minor stroke, she said to me through tears, "I never thought this would happen to me. I'm still so young." She was lucky to survive, but she had to fight hard through speech therapy, physical therapy, just to regain her ability to talk and walk. From that moment on, Linda started making small, consistent changes. She cut back on fast food, learned to cook simple meals like stir-fried veggies, chicken soup, and fresh salads. 3 months later, I saw her again in my clinic. Her eyes were brighter, her voice more confident. She smiled and said, "Doctor, I never thought I'd enjoy cooking, but now I can actually feel myself getting healthier every single day." You don't need to become a master chef. Just remember this: fresh food nourishes life. Processed food nourishes disease. When was the last time you cooked a meal for yourself? Are you letting convenience steal away the healthy years you still have ahead of you? My friend, I know your time is precious, but your health is even more precious. Give your OD meals filled with love so your heart and your brain can stay strong and keep walking with your loved ones for many more years to come. While functions old me, what will you choose for your next meal? Fast food or long-term health? Limba Hamo. You know, when we were kids, our moms used to say, "Eat more vegetables, sweetheart, or you'll get sick." We laughed it off back then, thinking she was just over-worrying. But now, after years of working with patients over 50, I realize Mom was right all along. EMP. Mom was right all along. Talked elau, talks dalau gaio one. Dalo one stalawan. Dalo one stalawan. Dalo one stalawan. I once had a patient, Robert, 64 years old, who suffered a mild stroke last summer. He admitted to me, "Doctor, I'm not a big fan of vegetables. For lunch, it's usually hamburgers and fries. At dinner, if there are veggies, I'll have a bite or two, just to say I did." And you know, that choice caught up with him. Imagine your body as a garden. Vegetables and fruits are like devoted gardeners, quietly pulling out the weeds. Those weeds being inflammation and plaque building up in your blood vessels. Without Dalo one's them, the weeds grow wild, clogging the pathways, choking off the flow. And when that flow stops suddenly, we call it a stroke. Harvard studies have shown people who eat at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables daily reduce their risk of stroke by 31% compared to those who eat only 1 to 2 servings. Antioxidants, potassium, and fiber found in these foods help lower blood pressure and prevent atherosclerosis, the 2 leading factors for stroke. After his stroke, Robert began to change. He started adding greens to his breakfast with a simple green smoothie. He swapped out his afternoon pastry for fresh fruit. 3 months later, his blood pressure had dropped significantly and his weight stabilized. When we spoke, Robert said to me with a smile, "I never thought veggies could make me feel this young again. I'm sleeping better and I feel so much lighter." I know not everyone falls in love with vegetables right away, but you can start with small, easy steps. Every bite of green, every handful of berries you eat isn't just food, it's a shield, protecting your heart and brain. When was the last time you had a meal full of colorful vegetables? Are you giving your body the weapons it needs to fight off the silent enemy called stroke? My friend, remember this. What you eat today becomes your health tomorrow. An apple, a bowl of fresh greens, these little things may be the very reason you get to hold your loved one's hand for years to come. Have you had enough fruits and vegetables today? Subscribe now, and let's build a healthier, happier life together, especially for your 50s and beyond. You know, there was a time when people treated fat like the enemy. Low-fat and fat-free labels filled the supermarket shelves, and we eagerly filled our carts, thinking that was the path to health. I once had a patient, Eleanor, 59 years old, who shared with me in my clinic, "I always choose skim milk, avoid cooking oil, and I even gave up butter. But doctor, my cholesterol is still high, and I feel exhausted all the time." Eleanor's story isn't rare. So many people have misunderstood fat, cutting it out entirely, not realizing they were also stripping away a vital nutrient that protects the heart and nourishes the brain. Imagine the cells in your brain as tiny little light bulbs. To keep them glowing brightly, they need proper insulation, a layer called myelin, which is made up of healthy fats. Without it, the signals between those bulbs don't travel smoothly. Memory begins to fade, and the silent risk of stroke slowly grows. Studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found this. People who eat plenty of healthy fats from avocados, nuts, and fatty fish have a 46% lower risk of stroke compared to those who avoid fat altogether. Omega-3s from salmon and mackerel help reduce inflammation and prevent plaque from building up in your arteries. Not all fats are bad. The dangerous ones? Trans fats in fried and processed foods and excessive saturated fats, like those in fatty cuts of meat. But monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats? They're your body's warriors, protecting your nervous system and keeping your blood flowing smoothly. After learning this, Eleanor started adding new foods to her meals. A drizzle of olive oil on her salad, a handful of walnuts with breakfast, and a slice of grilled salmon once a week. 3 months later, she came back with a radiant smile and said, "Doctor, I never thought I'd feel this sharp again. I didn't gain a single pound, and my blood pressure is steadier. Even my memory feels clearer now. You don't need to go to extremes to stay healthy. Just try this. Are you treating fat like an enemy or as a friend? Could you be unknowingly depriving your brain of the nutrients it needs to remember, to love, and to keep walking hand in hand with your loved ones? Remember this. Fat isn't the bad guy. Smart choices will keep your heart beating strong. More years filled with laughter, memories, and connection with the people you cherish most. So, have you had a little healthy fat today? My friend, have you ever stopped to wonder, could those small daily choices, the food you eat, the drinks you reach for, be deciding whether you'll enjoy your golden years with your grandchildren or spend them in an ICU bed hooked up to tubes and machines? After more than 30 years working with patients over 50, I've seen this truth again and again. Stroke doesn't discriminate. It strikes even those who believe they're healthy simply because they didn't recognize the small, repeated mistakes in their diet and lifestyle. Today I'm here, not just as a doctor, but as a friend, to share with you the 7 common mistakes I've seen, and more importantly, how we can avoid them, together, to protect your heart, your brain, and the precious years still ahead. I get it. Summer is the season of barbecues, picnics, and family gatherings, the laughter of friends, tables piled high with food, and before we know it, we're eating and drinking more than we usually would. I once asked a patient, Thomas, 61 years old, "Did you realize you ate nearly twice your usual amount at that party?" He gave me a sheepish grin. "Probably, but hey, it's just once in a while, doc." But here's the thing, once in a while, when added up over years, can quietly become a habit. And that habit can lead to weight gain, high blood pressure, until one morning you wake up and realize you've just had a minor stroke. You don't have to give up the joy of these gatherings. Just try. Fears and user thank you for first and algate the pass and the stroking when you're due. Have you noticed most of the carbs we eat, white bread, refined pasta, white rice, have had their nutrient-rich bran and germs stripped away? The result? Your body misses out on fiber, B vitamins, and key nutrients that help regulate blood sugar and protect your arteries. A study from the American Heart Association found eating 3 servings of whole grains per day can reduce stroke risk by as much as 25%. Simple swaps to try. My dear friend, life can get so busy that we often forget the little things. But remember this, it's those little things. A glass of water, a plate full of vegetables, a spoonful of olive oil that lay the bricks for a healthier future. I've seen far too many patients wish they could go back and change these small habits before it was too late. But today, you still have that chance. Start with just one simple thing, drink 1 more glass of water, choose an apple over a pastry, add a handful of walnuts to your breakfast, and ask yourself, am I nourishing my heart and brain so I can enjoy my golden years with the people I love? I believe you can do it, and I'm here walking this journey with you. So, what small step will you take today? A glass of water? An apple? Or maybe a quiet promise whispered to your heart, I'll take better care of you. You see, health isn't built on grand, life-changing decisions. It's built on small, consistent choices made every single day. A glass of water instead of soda, a meal with fresh vegetables instead of fast food, an evening walk with your loved ones instead of sitting silently in front of the TV. Those little things may seem insignificant, but they're the reason your heart keeps beating strong, your legs stay steady, and you're there to watch your grandchildren graduate, get married, and to say, I love you, many more times. So, what will you choose today? A glass of water? An apple? Or a loving reminder sent straight to your heart? If this video touched your heart, hit the subscribe button because here we don't just talk about health. We talk about living fully in the years ahead with a strong heart, a peaceful mind, and memories that make life worth living. You deserve a healthy body and a life that's truly full. Start today. You can